Well, this is Beacon Radio, delivering hope, inspiration, change, and I'm your host, Steve Teal. Today I am talking with Nichole Nordeman, performer, songwriter, author, artist, mom, all these things, all these hats she's wearing, and we're so glad you're here with us today, Nichole.
I'm so delighted, Steve. Thank you so much for having me on.
It's great. It's great to have you, and we're real excited just to speak for all of San Antonio that you're coming here April 24th, Sunday night, 7:30. You're coming to the Majestic with Amy Grant and Ellie Holcomb.
I'm so excited. I mean, this tour is excitement enough, but that theater I have been in before, and it is just stunning. I can hardly wait to see it again.
It's beautiful, and I know it's just going to be that much better with you singing and performing. Can you tell us some about the tour, what it's shaping up to be like?
Yeah. Well, I just got back from rehearsals in Nashville where we sort of wrapped up putting the finishing touches on this tour, and I can't say how excited I am to even be a part of it. It's going to be such an intimate evening. The three of us have decided just to be on stage together the whole time, so it'll feel very collaborative and singing and playing on each other's stuff. Lots of just, we're all storytellers at heart, so just lots of story swapping and song swapping, and probably a little bit of, probably a little crying because there's just going to be a lot of estrogen on stage. I don't know, but it's going to be a beautiful night. I hope that people feel just really invited into sort of a giant living room.
Oh, that is so cool. That is such a cool concept. Have you done that sort of stuff before where you share like that?
Not really. Traditionally, the tours that I have been on have kind of been opening act, middle act, headliner. And there has been not a whole lot of interaction between the artists, which is fine. That's a great way to tour also. But this just feels like hanging out with friends. And I think it'll have sort of a similar feel in the audience, I hope.
Oh, I bet it does. That is really cool. So how's it even going to work? How are you going to play on Amy's songs, or how's that going to work?
Well, we were just kind of hashing that out in rehearsals, and some of it is just sort of, with Amy's songs it's easy because I've been a fan forever, and so I virtually know every lyric to every song. So I didn't have to do much learning. I just sort of jumped in, which is really, I have to just say, as a fangirl, I still am just pinching myself that I'm on stage with Amy Grant. I hate to be that person, but I really, it's pretty crazy just to be up there singing Baby Baby with her. It's really, really awesome.
And that is
And then
cool.
Ellie, Ellie's really relatively new on the scene still, and I had fallen in love with her new project a while ago, but I'd never heard her live, and I can't even tell you what a treat people are in for. She's this teeny tiny person physically, but man, when she opens her mouth, it is all soul and so much power, and she's just such a gifted communicator. I can't wait for people to get to know her a little bit better.
Wow, that is going to be so cool. That's just such a cool concept to have all three of you working together.
Yes, I can't wait.
Awesome. Well, you're listening to Beacon Radio. We're delivering hope, inspiration, and change. I'm your host, Steve Teal, talking with Nichole Nordeman, and talk about a fanboy. I don't want to go fanboy on you, Nichole, but you've inspired so many people, and I am one of them. And your music, of course, our listeners know that it's too long a list to talk about, but Brave and Holy and Legacy and What If, and your new EP is so great too. Will you be playing?
So
what songs can you share with us? What you might be playing, or
well,
is that
I'm
a secret?
still working on nailing down the final. But yeah, it'll be a pretty good balance of the older stuff that people are probably familiar with from listening to the radio for years, and then 2 or 3 at least of the songs from the new EP. So it'll be a good combination.
Oh gosh, I hope you do those new songs. They are just so awesome.
Yeah.
You've got to, right?
That's so kind. Yes, right.
Well, can you
I'm
tell us a little bit about the Unmaking? It is a powerful EP. Can you tell us where it came from and just share with us?
Well, I took about 10 years off, Steve. I was sort of at the height of things when I think Brave was the last studio record that I did, and I just really felt like God was asking me to sort of step off the stage entirely and just stay home. Things in my marriage were really, really difficult, and I was a new mom and really having a lot of trouble balancing, being on the road and still feeling like I was serving my family well. So anyway, I took a whole 10 years off. and didn't do anything that required me to travel. I still was able to write for other people and
Right.
collaborated on some other stuff. So the Unmaking was the first thing that I had done in the studio really for a decade. And so I just had been in some pretty broken places, but then in some pretty hope-filled places as well. I think God had met me in some times when I just needed a ton of love and grace, and a lot of those songs came from that season where I just felt like his arms were around me.
Right. Well, that's something I think that is so unique about your music, and it's so important, is just, I know you're known for making yourself pretty vulnerable and sharing just very authentic. And I'm hoping our listeners today, as we talk about hope, inspiration, and change, are encouraged, because so often in the Christian world and in church, we're kind of encouraged to keep that to ourselves, and yet you're so vulnerable in sharing with us when you're discouraged or depressed or what you're going through. So I want to thank you for that, and even ask you well, even ask you if you can encourage our listeners how to do that. I mean, that's
it's just never easy, and I don't think it gets any easier. I just I'm actually by nature a pretty private person and a pretty introverted person, so it is actual work and a little bit like going to the dentist to be to have to force myself to be vulnerable, even with people that are closest to me in my life, because it's just, especially when you do what I do for a vocation and for ministry, it can become like super, super easy to just give the right answer and quote the right scripture and just kind of move through life in that everything's fine. But it's such a disservice to our hearts and to our relationships when we just keep it surface. And I think that I've just found that when you just sort of bite down on, the reality of telling people how life really is in your world, then that's when God opens all these amazing moments for people to speak hope into your life and for people to say, I'm there too, You thought my life was perfect? Let me tell you, it's not.
Right.
And just opportunities for real relationship, and I think that's how God makes himself known to us sometimes.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, this is Beacon Radio, delivering hope, inspiration, change. I'm Steve Teal, and blessed to be talking with Nichole Nordeman, who is coming to the Majestic April 24th, Sunday night, 7:30, with Amy Grant and Ellie Holcomb. Going to be a really special night, and I want to encourage you guys to get your tickets now and come out. It's going to be really special, so it's exciting. We're talking to Nichole, and Nichole, you've written this beautiful EP, and we just want to thank you for sharing that with us. Coming back and writing these beautiful songs. I look at the lyrics again and again, and they're just really special. You're just so gifted in that way.
I'm so glad that they've been an encouragement to you. Thank you for that.
Well, and I know you still, in the last 10 years, you've done a lot of other things. One of the things that really blessed me, Nichole, is your book, Love Story.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's such a blessing, and I want to encourage our listeners, if they have not read that book, get a hold of it. It is a great book, and one of the things, if you wouldn't mind talking about, that really blessed me about that book was in your music you can see your vulnerability and your honesty and just that kind of raw, beautiful faith that is willing to doubt and question. And in your books you see that too, but we also see your humor. I really like your humor.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind. Well, I was home by myself with my kids for a decade when I wrote that, so I couldn't take myself too seriously because nobody else was, that's for sure. But yeah, I think it's fun. It's just necessary, actually, not to take yourself too seriously. And I think sometimes the expectation as a quote unquote professional Christian is that everything is just all spiritual all the time, and, I just have such a normal, real life where real crazy, goofy things happen, and, writing about that was kind of cathartic.
Yeah, it's great, and I do. Your humor just comes shining through. I think that's harder to come through in song.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And I really do love, I read it a couple years ago, and I was just, reading some of it again, and just your humor with talking about your devotion and love for birds, which is...
Oh, my gosh. Listen, Steve, I had this experience a couple nights ago. It was not even a week ago. I was in this 5-star resort, I will not name it, in Georgia, which I never am in hotels that nice. Usually for gigs, it's like, just a normal whatever.
Right.
Hampton Inn, great,
Right.
fine. But this was probably the nicest hotel I've ever stayed in. I felt like that movie Pretty Woman, like the marble bathtub and the wooden floors and the 20-foot ceilings. It was insane.
Yeah.
And I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you know from my book how I feel about things that scurry and scuttle.
I do.
I woke up out of a dead sleep to the sound of some critter running back and forth across my room. Not like a mouse-sized thing, but like a possum-sized thing.
Oh, my God.
I'm not kidding. I thought that this is it. This is how I'm going to die. I just laid there frozen for about an hour until I had the nerve to turn on the light and the nightstand, and then whatever it was, it sort of stopped under the bed. You have never seen anything till you've seen me in my pajamas in the lobby of a 5-star hotel crying to the front desk person. And they never found it.
Oh, my
They
goodness.
never found it, and I know they think I'm crazy. I know that I went into some memo to the whole hotel staff. Yep.
Oh, goodness. Oh, funny.
They never found it.
That's
so I just laid
crazy.
awake all night staring at the ceiling with all the lights on.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I would do the same. I hate to admit it. Oh, gosh.
Anyway, yeah, that was my highlight of my 5-star hotel last week.
You'll never forget it.
Never.
Oh, goodness. We're talking to Nichole Nordeman, and this is Beacon Radio, delivering hope, inspiration, and change. And that is certainly what Nichole delivers and shares with us, is hope and inspiration, and even a little bit of change, just to be able to not take ourselves so seriously and be a little bit more authentic and real with other people. She's coming April 24th. To the Majestic, 7:30 that Sunday night with Amy Grant and Ellie Holcomb, and they're all going to be sharing together, sharing the stage. It's going to be unique, and you don't want to miss it. Is there anything else you want to tell us about? If you don't mind me peeking ahead, do you have a kind of an insight of what might be next? I know you're in the middle of this, but
I'm doing after this tour, and then of course after the summer, I will be a part of a new women's conference called Belong. With Jen Hatmaker and Shauna Nyquist and a couple other special guests. We're going to hit arenas all over the country, and I cannot wait. That's sort of all in the birthing process right now, too, just to get with these beautiful sisters and just say something really unique.
Awesome. Okay, well, That's exciting. Any other writing coming up, too? I know you're so busy.
I'm back in the studio also. Just, it's a little tricky on tour, so there's a lot of just grab moments where you can to do some songwriting. But, I'm starting to sort of crank that wheel up again.
Awesome. All right, well, we want to thank you, Nichole. Thank you so much for being with us today, and we're just so excited that you're coming to San Antonio April 24th. That's Sunday night, 7:30 at Majestic. You all don't want to miss it. And don't forget, you can get Love Story. You can go online or at your Christian bookstore. And be sure to get the Unmaking. If you don't have it, get it today. You can get it for like $6, or you can go to NicholeNordeman.com and get it right from the website. It is just special, and it's going to bless you. So thank you so much, Nichole.
It was such a delight to visit with you. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you guys.
Can't wait to see you, Nichole. All right, take care.
You too, Steve. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, this is Beacon Radio, delivering hope, inspiration, and change. I'm Steve Teal, blessed to get to talk with Nichole Nordeman today. We'll be right back after these messages.